Hey there, my name is Bryce. I'm one of the co-founders at Afterflow, where we help high-ticket brands scale with retention systems. This is a quick case study on ShopSolar, how we help them hit 64% of total revenue with email. So a little bit of background on ShopSolar. They were founded in 2017, and they've been in the high 8 figures for the past several years. On the right here, you can see the stats from month 2 working with us. So they asked us to blur out the exact numbers, but they do multiple millions per month. Total revenue was up 17% versus previous year. Email was up 44%, and that accounted for 64% of their total revenue. When we first got started with ShopSolar, these were the 4 main issues they were having. And if you're a brand owner watching this, these are kind of the 4 buckets you can separate your email systems into. So one important note is that if one of these systems is off, it is going to negatively affect the other 3. So unfortunately for ShopSolar, they had problems with all 4, but basically their list was declining month over month, even though they're getting tons of traffic. They had poor deliverability, so thousands of customers weren't even seeing the emails they were sending. People on the list were burnt out from receiving repetitive campaigns, and they had outdated systems. So the previous agency had set up their flows, but hadn't touched them in months. And one of the craziest things about jumping into this account was seeing split tests open for 6 months. And if someone just took the 10 seconds to pick the winner, the results would have improved overnight. So after that, the first thing we did was rebuild their pop-up form. This was the highest leverage move because the previous version, which you can see here on the left, was converting under 1%. And then that version on the right was one of our early iterations that was able to hit 5% in a couple weeks. So a couple things that happened after that: weekly signups started outpacing previous monthly averages, and the welcome flow doubled month over month. So won't get too much into the technical stuff here about the pop-up, but one of the big reasons ShopSolar wanted to go with a mystery discount is because they have 3 core customer profiles, and they were able to get them to self-select before receiving their discount. So able to boost the numbers and get a better understanding of their audience, and then be able to send them more targeted messaging after that. So the next thing that we went to work on was their deliverability. If you're not too familiar with it, this is kind of like the metaphorical email doorman. So one of 2 things can happen. If you send good emails and you're seen as a valuable sender, it will prioritize you in the customer's inbox. If you have bad deliverability and they do not see you as a good sender, they will send you to spam and promotion. So able to do a couple quick things to kind of boost this up, but it really is a long-term process you got to keep an eye on. So with ShopSolar, we were able to clean the list up, get rid of unengaged profiles and people who are risky. Better segmentation. So one of the things that they were doing was blasting their full email list with every send. There is a time and place for it, and like a crazy sale like Black Friday. But if you do this repetitively, people are going to get annoyed. They're going to hit unsubscribe, spam, and the doorman will kick you out. So last part of this is just sending aligned content, which is kind of the reason that pop-up helped out a little bit. Able to send more targeted messaging, get stronger engagement, and that's always going to lead to better deliverability. So just sending good emails. So here you can see the March campaign metrics compared to January. So with the bigger list and better deliverability, results were better off the jump. Then the next 2 things that we did, so we changed their content strategy. So previously they were sending mainly promotions and sales. And what you'll find is people just kind of start tuning out. It's kind of like the boy who cried wolf. Like every time there's a sale, it can't be that good, right? So what we did was switch their content strategy to start featuring more educational emails, more value-based content, sometimes even just strictly entertainment to keep things interesting. And that way, when the sales did come around, people were much more engaged. That trust with the audience was already built. And then they were ready to jump on the sales if it was right for them. So last thing we did was switch their designs and copy. One big thing we like to think about is kind of the state people are in when they're opening these emails, which we like to kind of think of it like a zombified 5-year-old. So emails need to be extremely attention grabbing and extremely clear what that next step should be. And that's kind of the simplified version of how we improve their campaigns. And here you can see kind of what those results look like. So these were the top 4 highest selling campaigns that they had ever sent in March. And then quick overview of our strategy here. So the first thing is actually not even on this list, and that is going to be doing tons of research on your brand and your customers, finding out what their problems are, what keeps them up at night, and what the solution that they're really looking for is. So that's number 1. Number 2 is going to be getting a sign-up form that captures the most amount of traffic possible. So anywhere from 5 to 12%, making sure that the hard-earned money that you're spending on ads is being converted properly. The next piece is going to be automating the foundation. So when we first start working with a brand, this looks like 7 core flows, about 30 emails total. And from there, we'll just keep adding any automations that help the brand scale. With ShopSolar in particular, they have a super complex product. So they have 30 flows running at this point in the 10 months that we've been working together. From there, we have 3 to 5 campaigns per week. That's kind of the sweet spot that we found. Definitely varies from brand to brand, but I will say it is kind of a non-negotiable at this point, just given the amount of competition to be sending multiple times per week. Lastly, we have optimize and scale. So always knowing there's room for improvement. A big part of our philosophy is just never getting complacent and looking for that next big win for your brand. To kind of expand on that, we have ShopSolar's November results. So email was up 86% versus the previous year. Total revenue was up 29% versus the previous year, and that was 73% coming from email. That's all I got for today. Thank you for watching. If you would like help with your email systems, we do offer qualified high ticket brands doing over 1 million per year free consultation calls. And you can find a link in the description to learn more.